What's up, otakus? It's your tour guide here. We've got a really exciting show for you today. So, yeah, I mean, let me just get this camera angle. There we go. That's better. So, yeah, we got a great show for you. I'm going to basically show off all of these books right here. Okay, so we got 3 unboxings to do. 2 of the 3 unboxings are from community members, and then we got a 16 book haul to get through. But what I want to start off with is some shout outs. So I want to give a really warm-hearted shout out to my comic family. First up, we have Cat Fan Comics Man. I did a video a while back kind of celebrating his 200 push for 200 followers on YouTube, and he got there, and then he did the giveaway and I won. So I got this beautiful slab, which I'm going to open up in a few minutes. But we'll get there. But yeah, shout out to Cat Fan Comics Man. I really appreciate you, dude. And just glad to have, another member of the community who I can just kind of connect with and check in on and just support one another. Because, doing this content, it's therapeutic, and I got to just say, like, a lot of us are just kind of just struggling to get by, like just doing our best every day to just cope with life and all the things that are going on. And definitely comic books help with that. But I think the other aspect is just having, the people that speak the same language as you as people in your corner. So again, thanks to you. And the other person I want to shout out, we got a bunch of shout outs. So the next person I want to shout out is Fanboy Prime, and your book arrived today, so we're going to get to that as well. We're going to unbox that as well. So, and again, Fanboy, I really appreciate you, and I'm looking forward to our conversation this weekend. We're going to have him on. Namana Hyung and I are going to have him on tomorrow night, so be sure to check that out. Tomorrow night we're going to do our Meet the Collector. We're going to feature a great community member, Fanboy Prime. Go follow him. I'm going to link him in the video, the description once this gets posted. Forgot to do that. I forgot to link everybody, but I'll edit it in, and go give him a follow. Go give Cat Fan a follow as well. And just, we're going to get to what they sent me. One's a giveaway, one's sort of like an AOK. And so we'll get to those. The next person I want to shout out is Craven Hunts Comics. Yeah, so we finally got our packages shipped. We shipped them out this afternoon, and I'm just really excited about that. So it's it's making its way to me. I have the tracking numbers. He's getting 4 comics. I'm getting 11 comics. And it was just sort of this big 15-book blockbuster trade, which I covered in a previous video. But we'll be unboxing those books next week. Probably, it's saying it's arriving on Thursday of next week, but USPS kind of always gives you sort of this, they give you this time frame, but then it moves through the system without issue, and it ends up getting there just a few days earlier. So that's what we're hoping. We're hoping it arrives earlier next week, but really looking forward to that. And then the last, the last shout out I'm going to give is to all my, comic family members, the ones that check in. Hey, Kenneth, Ralphhouse, you guys, I'm giving you guys a shout out. Kenneth and Ralphhouse, guys like you, guys like, Naman Young, guys like Brian LCS, Donnie Comics, who else? J Rule, Bronze Age Nerd. I mean, there's just too many to really. We could just sit here all day and just go through the list. But I appreciate all of you guys for supporting this channel, and for those of you that are putting out content, I just like staying engaged with you. It's really like I don't watch TV these days. I just kind of watch videos and see what people are up to. So keep doing what you're doing. Hey, and it's just really great to have everyone's support and to be supporting everybody. So yeah, let's get to the comic haul. First off, I'm gonna just kind of remove this one from the mix. We've got a comic here that we're gonna be showing off. So let's get to the haul. So again, we have 16 books. I spent $61.50 on 16 books. And that comes out to be about, I spent about $3.84 per book on this haul. But the value that we got out of this haul, we're calculating that to be, again, we spent $3.84, but the value we got back minus, again, what we spent. So the net value that we got is $31.46 per book. That's what we're counting. I'm just basing it off, kind of what the value is, the fair market value, the book value is, and so that's pretty big. I don't think it's close to one of the top valued hauls. I have to go back and check my videos to be sure, but $31 of value is right around one of the higher valued returns on a haul. So this is a good one. This is a really good one. And again, I think part of the reason why it's so good is because I'm picking up, I'm not picking up like as much stuff now. I'm trying to be really focused on getting the stuff that I really wouldn't want to let go, the ones that I just really want to see in the PC. Now that could change over time, like, because I feel like books come in and then you kind of like, why did I get that? Or your attachment or association with a certain book can wane over time. It can, and I think a lot of that has to do with just kind of where things are trending in the comic book sort of marketing community. It is a very fluctuating kind of situation. So I'm trying to be more grounded in picking up the stuff that I know it's not something that's going to be just like kind of in passing, but stuff I want to keep in the collection, or the other. So it's either something for the collection, something I'm going to keep, or it's something of value to like the hobby, the community, and that I would leverage in a trade or selling to get the stuff I do want. So it's one of those two things. It can't be something in between where it's like, it's a $15 book, but really if I tried to flip it or sell it or trade it, it wouldn't really have any, wouldn't have any movement on it. So we're trying to not get rid of those books. We're trying to minimize our, inventory of those books, minimize our accumulation of those books, and just focus on stuff either we really want or stuff that we can leverage to get what we want. So I hope that made sense. All right. Now most of these books are stuff that I am willing to let go and leverage in a trade or sell. So if you're interested in any of these books, hit me up on either Instagram or in the comments below. We'll connect and we can work something out. I'm really down for trades. I think that's a fun part of the hobby. And so, again, I'm always wanting Jim Lee stuff. So if you have Jim Lee stuff, propose me a trade. I'm more than likely to want to follow through on it. So all this stuff is pretty much available except for a few items. And I'll let you know which ones are for the PC and are not, not available. All right, this one is kind of borderline. I love the cover, and it's something I love the movie too. I gotta say, I'm a big Gal Gadot fan, and I'm just gonna kind of shift this down so you get a better look at the comic. I'm a big Gal Gadot fan, and man, she's an amazing Wonder Woman. And this is Future State #1. The variant, it has so many variant covers. I have the Peach Momoko as well. But this is the Adam Hughes variant, and it's a Wonder Woman 1984, the movie homage. So, it's Adam Hughes' rendition of Gal Gadot, and it's just a beautiful cover. The colors are really, it's like a purple, orangish color scheme. Great costume. Love that Wonder Woman costume. And man, I love those movies. I've loved both Gal Gadot movies that have come out. I loved her scenes in Justice League, where she's like running and blocking all the machine gun bullets. It's just awesome. And she just makes a great Wonder Woman. So again, this is pick this up for $250, half a cover. It's really high grade, and again, Adam Hughes cover. Just really loving the cover. I don't, for now, it's like a keeper. I just don't know how long. I don't know. It's a really nice cover, so I'll probably end up keeping it. But again, for the right Jim Lee book, it is available. All right, we just picked this up. I picked this up earlier this week. One of the more recent ads. Astonishing X-Men #3, and this is the John Cassaday cover. I think there's a key aspect of this book as well. It's the first appearance of one of the antagonists. It's a Joss Whedon story. It's just a beautiful cover here by Cassaday. It's Wolverine just kind of coming out at you like from the sky or something. Probably, yeah, it's a fastball special. He's just flying at you with the claws out. That's just a great cover. So this is part cover by and just part buy because it's a key issue, but just loving it. Yeah, we paid half a cover for this as well, so it's $1. This was $1.50. It's got like an $18 value to it. So again, if you're wanting this book, it is available. This one I was surprised to find. I gotta say, when I found it, I was just like, wow, that's a key book. Let's pick it up. So it's Nova #1, and there hasn't been much movement on this book yet because we haven't gotten any spec on Nova. But he's coming. He'll probably be somewhere in that Fantastic Four. either in the Fantastic Four movie or something related to the cosmic aspect. So, yeah, just a key book. Again, paid $2 for this one, and it's a number one key. I think it's a first appearance of his like family members. It's the Alexander Nova, and I in all indications this is the Nova we're gonna see in the MCU. Marvel's going young, and they're gonna bring all these infuse all this youth into the MCU. So hopefully we see the older and younger versions of Nova, but definitely I think we're going to see this one. So this one has still some room and legs to I think go up. So yeah, this is a book you're interested in, can hit me up. It's available for trade, and I do I don't mind keeping it sitting on it as well, because again, I don't think this book has seen its best day yet. So just have to see how the movie turns out. All right, moving right along. Well, we got 3 books already. So, so for those 3 pickups were from Half Price Books, but Half Price Books isn't the only place where I get really good deals. I also go to Mill Geek Comics, which is my local LCS. And many of you who watch Comic Tom and watch the trending 20, the trending 10 sometimes he does, you know him as Russ the Comic Sensei, right? That's the owner of Mill Geek. And yeah, he's just a real great resource of knowledge for comics, real great source of knowledge in comics for me. And so it's just fun to go there and dig through his long boxes. Now he has just a lot of comics available in a 50-cent bin. They're all 50 cents. So while it takes some time to really find like keys and valued books, you can find them. They're there. So you just got to be. And again, I pick up a lot of Jim Lee books and stuff. So we picked up a few books from Mill Geek, and our next one is one of them. So this is a 50-cent book that we picked up, and this is New Avengers 33. And it's the first appearance or the start of the excursion in this storyline. And again, I haven't read this Hickman run, but it's a great Doom cover by what's his name, Gabriel Del Otto, and just an amazing cover. And it basically. This is sort of leading up to Secret Wars and Doom's central role in that story arc. So a great book. Again, picked it up for 50 cents. This is going to be a hot book soon as Secret Wars stuff ramps up. Currently, it's like about $10 book, but this value will definitely spike once we get like confirmation Doom is coming to Secret Wars, which it is. It's like you can bank on that part. So if you can run into books like this, I would say pick it up. I've been kind of specking on Secret Wars kind of hard these days. Luckily for me, I got some of the original Secret Wars way before the announcement. So I was good there. But after the announcement, I was like, man, we should pick up some of these modern books because they're not all that, they're pretty common. They're not all that expensive. And also there's just, again, huge potential for growth And collectors are going to want to get these books. So, yeah, picked up New Avengers 33. Great cover. All right, this next book is a big one, and it's kind of spiking up right now. But there's a lot of speculation about World War Hulk, and we picked up World War Hulk number 5, and it's the first appearance of this dude. He's the main antagonist in World War Hulk, and so I ran across it recently at Half Price Books, and saw that it was like it's like a $40 book. So I said, let's get it. We paid $2 for this book, so got a really good return out of this particular book. Yeah, just a great cover by. This is a cover by David Finch. The interior is done by John Romita Jr. We love John Romita Jr. And this is written by Greg Pak, who I believe Greg Pak is Korean American because of the name, but I may be wrong. But just thought, this is just really clean book. This is definitely 9.8 potential book. And this is definitely available for trade. I mean, and we're not even there with the World War Hulk stuff. We had an inkling of like an indication that it could be coming, but nothing in terms of like confirmed confirmed specs. So it's a speculative book, but I anticipate this is something we'll see. This is how Hulk will be introduced if they do give him some kind of series or movie related to the MCU. So, yeah, happy to pick this up. So again, picked it up for $2. This next one we picked up for. I'm trying to remember what I paid for this. I think it was like Legends. We paid $2 for it, and again, at Half Price Books, sometimes, like I think Naman Hyung mentioned it, Half Price Books doesn't always price stuff half a cover. They'll, especially some Half Price bookstores they have a person looking up comic prices, and sometimes they'll price it based on the grade and everything as is its market value. Sometimes they'll take that market value and reduce it by half. So it's a mixed bag. I've definitely seen books where you have a key that's priced as is, and then there are other times where you see like older books or something, and you can tell, okay, what they did was they took into consideration the condition and all that, and they just reduced the book price by half. So actually you're getting it for what it's worth, because sometimes these books are not in great condition. But as you know, I collect John Byrne, and this I've been trying to pick up all 6 parts of this limited run miniseries, and I think I have this is my 4th book, so I only have 2 more to pick up. This is Legends number 4. Great cover by John Byrne. It's actually really, I think people were tagging each other for Fiery Fierce Friday today. I got tagged by my young Naman Young, and I tagged a few people. But yeah, you're supposed to post something like fire on the cover, a book with fire on the cover, and then tag someone to do the same. I should have done this book, but I ended up putting up the Michael Turner cover with Superman kind of just floating there with his heat ray vision and like a big fire in the background. But just an amazing Michael Turner cover. It's definitely a better cover than this. This is not half bad either, but they're both hot fire covers. So yeah, Legends. This was priced for $2, and I it would have been nice to get it for 31 odd cents because it's 75-cent cover price. But I felt like $2 is reasonable enough because this is a series I've been just targeting. So rather than like pick it up for that price at LCS down the road, I thought we'll just get it. So that's Legends number 4. Great John Byrne cover. Our next book is an artist I like, John Byrne, an artist I collect, an artist I love, and we have X-Men 250 by Mark Silvestri. It's covered by Mark Silvestri. This is a newsstand edition. This comic is like a solid 8, maybe 7.5, 8. I'd give it I'd say 8 to 8.5. It's a pretty decent looking book. Could benefit from a press. There's just a few spine ticks for the most part. The corners are a little rounded. Yeah, but good condition nonetheless. And yeah, it's just a great cover there of Polaris getting her, I guess, head, her mind, something's going on. Something's going on with the head. But just, again, a great Mark Silvestri cover. And, I was big into X-Men in this era here. I didn't read this particular issue, but I was reading a lot of the other issues. And this came up for, I believe, what did I pay for this? Yeah, we paid $1. This came up for $1, so I thought, a newsstand edition of this, decent grade, I'll get it for $1. So we picked it up. X-Men 250. All right, this next one we got for 50 cents at Mill Geek, and I kind of regret. I have a little bit of regret with this book because, so I'll just let you know what happened. First of all, the book is Batman Predator, number 1. And this is a cover by Chris Warner, who is, I think, going to be in, he's going to be in Bellingham, Washington for their Comic Con up there. Now, Bellingham is it's closer to like Vancouver. So it's almost like, it's about a 2-hour drive from here. But yeah, Chris Warner is going to be there signing books. I just kind of noticed that. And I'd have no intention to go up there. It would be nice if it were closer, but being so far, there's just no way I can get up there. So, but yeah, this is a cover by Chris Warner. Beautiful Batman Predator cover. Again, 50 cents, picked up for $15. Now, the thing I regret is this came this is one of 3, but it came like all 3 issues were in the box. And I could have just picked them up, all of them up for $1.50. But I had some other books that I had pulled, and I had a limited amount of resources. So I just got the books that I thought, that I wanted. But then I realized, I probably should have just completed the set, and it would have been easier to sell or move it as a complete set, right? So that's I could still go back there and pick them up. The thing is, like, I brought them all up to the counter, and I just, at the last minute, I said, I'm going to take these out. And I just got this one. So they're going to put those books back in the box. I just don't know where that is. I'm hoping it's closer to, like the front area. but I mean, it's really up to the guys there. But hopefully, maybe yeah, it's definitely for $1. I'd want to pick up 2 and 3 as well. Just great value on a really nostalgic book. This is just like, this book came out, and I had a lot of the Batman like crossover books, like Grendel, Batman, Judge Dredd. This was another one, and I enjoyed them all. They're all really good. This is another one that was really good because, Batman just uses his wit to best the Predator. So, yeah, a lot of nostalgia in this book. So when I saw it, I was like, yeah, let's get it, because I had talked about it, I think, on a previous video, and with Predator just being, I think, just it's always going to be. There've been like a million Predator movies, so it's just one of those things you're just going to constantly see, and I think the most recent Prey, I heard it was really, really intense and good. So that's going to, I think it's prompted another production of Predator. So hopefully that'll help this book, in terms of demand and community members wanting it. Again, this is like a $15 book. They're 50 cents. It is available for trade or sale if you guys want it. It's a really nice copy. I'd say it's in the 9s. And so, yeah, if you want it, hit me up. All right. This next one, it's not worth a lot, really. It's more just a cover, like a pure cover buy. And I just love this cover. It's just a great cover. It's a Keith Pollard cover of Wolverine Saga. Now, this one contains like the complete origin of Daredevil, Elektra, and the Black Widow. So it's just one of, Marvel. If you know what Marvel Saga is one of those encyclopedic books where they cover like characters and, kind of give you their origin and like what their special features and all the sort of the back story in a nice, concise sort of format. And this one again covers these 3 great characters. This is around the time, of Daredevil, Elektra. This was 1984, was it? Yeah, right around the 25th anniversary. I just, again, cover by. Nice Daredevil cover there. Nice. Again, just that's my like sweet spot of collecting that from that era. So whenever I see like a 50, 60 cent cover, up to $1, from 50 to $1 cover, that's kind of like, for me, just like it hits the nostalgic aspect for me. All right, next. We're getting okay. So we're already at the Jim Lee portion of the show. So we're gonna go through my Jim Lee books that I picked up, and we'll also we'll open some of these unboxings. So let's start with the books that I got, Jim Lee books that I got. Now, you'll recall from a previous haul video that I just recently picked this one up. Okay, great Jim Lee cover. And on a previous, like, I think something we picked up, I want to say around like early summer, we picked up this book, which is the Trinity 16 Wonder Woman. And as you can see, these are connecting covers, right? So when I picked this one up recently, I was just like, and I knew they had the Batman there. So I was like, oh man, it's a Trinity cover, like, connecting cover. So I went back there and got it. So this is the one we picked up. It's the Batman, and it also connects on the other side there. So yeah, just the Trinity, 3 connecting covers of Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman, all by Jim Lee. So this is just like, this is like what I collect. If you got stuff like this, I want it. So another great Jim Lee Batman cover. And again, these connecting covers are just kind of cool to have in the collection. That's one of the Jim Lee books I picked up. And another of the Jim Lee books I picked up is a rather special one. First of all, it's a wraparound cover. You see the Hulk there. This is Alpha Flight 75. Just a cover by Jim Lee. He did a lot of these Alpha Flight books. And it's really his introduction to Marvel, right? Alpha Flight is his introduction to Marvel. That's where Jim got his start. And love. So I mentioned before, there are only a few books where you see Jim Lee Spider-Man. Jim Lee Spider-Man is rare. There are only really 3 covers you can find Jim Lee Spider-Man, like a Jim Lee drawn Spider-Man on. That's it, 3 covers. There's a 4th, but it's not really an in continuity comic. What it is it's a, Comic Con kind of like program guide. And now I have all 4 Jim Lee Spider-Man like covers that he's done, that exist, right? Unless he actually does Spider-Man, which I'm hoping happens at some point. Like he'll get to a point where he's kind of like, he's reached a status where he can just do any project. He can like get on the phone and say, hey, I want to call up Marvel and say, hey guys, I want to do Spider-Man. And Marvel would be like, yeah, okay, when can you start? And, I hope he gets that opportunity to work on Spider-Man or like Wolverine or something back at Marvel. I'd love for it to be Spider-Man though. Like that'd just be awesome. But anyway, when you get an opportunity to pick up Jim Lee, something other than like Batman and what he's really known for, it's always a treat. So we're trying to pick up, anytime he does a different character, like or like something we haven't seen him do, that's always a treat for me. Like, man, I gotta get that. Like, if you did like a Jim Lee Doctor Strange, that's something you'd want, right? And he's done a lot of characters. He's done Punisher, Ghost Rider, Marvel Saga. The Saga books are actually pretty decent. I mean, they're not worth much, but they're just, again, if you grew up in that era, it's just like the things you want, right? I could see myself at some point turning to collecting Marvel Age and Marvel Saga, like just getting the first, like 20 or 30 books in those runs, or the key ones. Hey, Justin, what's up, man? How you doing, man? Long time no see. I'm always, following you and watching you, and just, yeah, man, you watching you is just a joy. You put out such good stuff. So, welcome. Yeah, so we're just going through my haul again. 16 books. Went through most of the books. Now I'm going to get to some of the bigger ones, but the other thing I forgot to mention. Oh, we'll get to it. All right, good to hear, man. So again, like Jim Lee Spider-Man, very hard to come by. And again, there are only 4 covers that I know of, and this is I have them all now. This is the 4th. Well, I don't have them all. There's one Punisher original Spider-Man where Spider-Man appears. I don't have that one. I mean, I will eventually own it, and I've had opportunities that have it. It's not the best cover. This one isn't the best cover either, but he's there. He's right there in action. This one actually, the Jim Lee Hulk is the real kicker on the back here. So it's a wraparound cover. You got Cap there. You got Human Torch. You got Wonder Man. It's just a pretty action. You got Iron Man, Wolverine there in the corner as well. Great Jim Lee wraparound cover for 50 cents. I picked this up for 50 cents. Early Jim Lee. All right, so yeah. Oh, let me just show you. So you missed it earlier. I showed it off, but got this one. World War Hulk 5 key issue. Got it for $2. So picked up a lot of value in this haul, I gotta say. All right, so we're gonna get to some of the big books now. My last book is, I mentioned it on Instagram, and I might as well just let you know, we picked up a Golden Age book. It's my first Golden Age book in the collection. So first Golden Age book that I've ever owned. And it's a key book, and so we'll get to that. But there's an interesting story around it as well. And it's to do with my Unmyeong. So guys, if you guys have been following me, you know what Unmyeong, what I mean by Unmyeong, right? It has to do with the Korean philosophy around fate, destiny, meaning you're not in control of your fate. I mean, you can do things to, I guess, influence what happens to you, but ultimately fate and destiny are things out of your control and just sort of kind of random happenings. And I feel like that aptly applies to comic book collecting. Like when we go on a hunt, even if you're targeted on something you want to buy, well, that's the beauty of like I guess online channels like eBay or Amazon, or not Amazon, but eBay or like Mercari, right? You can go on and pretty much if there's something you want, you can get it. If you're willing to pay the money for it, you can get it, right? And even Whatnot, like you can go to Whatnot auctions and get stuff. But really the fun, what I've found that's indicative of my comic book hauls is that, it's the stuff you don't anticipate picking up and just run into that is like really an enjoyable part of the hobby. And it's a rush. I gotta say, it's a rush when you pick up like a key book, for like half a cover or like 50 cent, like something that you've been looking for, and you get it for like $1 or something. There's no better feeling than that. Now, so I just use that approach. Just like, we're gonna find something on this haul. We're gonna go out and buy some books, and we don't know what we're gonna find. But when you do run across it and you bring it in the collection, that's a special book. That's a special comic, and that's gonna be a lot more. Hold a lot more value to you than just picking it up off eBay. Now, picking off stuff off eBay feels good too, but I'm just telling you, like, you can get a lot of good value and get it cheap on eBay as well. But when you pick up, again, I think I'm going to get to, the reason I'm talking about this is because we're going to build up to my last book, the Golden Age book, which is a complete Unmyeong book. And it's like, again, when I realized what I was getting and what I was paying for, I was just like, ugh. All right, so again, I gave a shout out to Fanboy Prime. Give him a follow. It's at Fanboy Prime, just one word. He's just been a comic bro, man. Like we've connected, and I just feel like, yeah, he's my bro, dude. So it's just he's looking out for me, and I'm just so appreciative of you, man. If you're watching, or when you do watch this, just know that, you know, uh, I really appreciate you, and you know, I just hope for all the blessings and fortunes for your family, because you're just, man, you're just doing, you're good. You're a good person. So all right, so he watched my video, and on my videos I do say like what I need. I say like, hey, I need this book, or I'm looking out for it. This is a book on my radar, or it's on my, it's on my want list. And he pays attention and he keeps an eye out for me. And so I just always appreciate that about him. And he added a surprise to me. So I don't, oh boy. Oh, nice. Okay. Wow. Okay. Dude, you didn't have to do this, man. All right, we're gonna start with the book that, again, I wanted to add, and he finally have it in the collection. This is the variant cover for Justice League number 7, Jim Lee. This is my favorite cover in that run of variant covers by him, and this is probably one of the best Jim Lee Superman covers. Yeah. And man, anytime like you see the Pete Ray Vision coming out, Justin, I know you like this one, right? I know you probably have this one, right? It's just it's a great cover by. But yeah, again, thanks Prime. I just, man, just looking out for me like that. Now, I sent you some books. Some of the books are for Ollie, some of the books are for you. But I hope you enjoy them. And that's just, again, a token of my appreciation. And thank you again for looking out. Now, he sent me another book here, a surprise book. And wow, oh my goodness. Thanks, man. You got a Dan Jurgen signature, Superman Doomsday, Hunter Prey. And what just floors me about this is what he collects. This is what Fanboy collects. And for him to like, man, you should have kept this one, man. I know how much these books mean to you. So thank you. This is a special book. This will definitely just stay in the PC forever. That is a beautiful book, man. Thank you so much. So wow, it's been a great haul video so far. I mean, this could have been the pinnacle, the climax of the haul, but we've still got some books here. And the next book is another, this is a giveaway from a community member, and another community member who I connected with, and really Nama and Hyung put him on my radar, and then I watched his videos, and I was just like, man, this guy has an amazing collection. He's got just a lot of insightful knowledge about books. Give him a follow, Cat Fan Comics Man. You won't regret it. He's got great. He puts out a video every day. His channel's growing. I'm just really glad to see that channel doing really well and having a lot of engagement. So kudos, man. So yeah, I'm just thankful. So I entered his 200 sub giveaway, and I won. I'm so excited. And I know what this book is, but I will say, so it's just been really great, what I've gotten so far. But this book is my first 9.8 slab. I don't have any 9.8 slabs. I have a 9.6. I have a few 9.4s. I'm hoping to get 9.8s in my next, the submission I'm getting back, which will be here, I think, probably in November or so. I'm hoping there's 9.8s in there, but those are hard to get. I know a lot of people, when I look at unboxing videos on some of the older books, they are harder to secure. But this one is 9.8. It's graded already. I know. All right, there's a note here. I'm just going to read it real quick. Yeah, thank you, Cat Fan. Thank you, man. You're the best, man. I say that all the time. You're the best. All right, so this came packaged really beautifully, and this is the book we got. Boom. It's Wolverine number 12. It's a variant cover by Nico Soyan, and it's signed by Ben Percy. Just a beautiful cover there. Beautiful cover. Dracula kind of pulling Wolverine by the strings there, the blood strings. Just love that. Wolverine is just this is such a popular title, and I think there's a lot of spec potential here as well. So happy to add this to my collection. It's going to go right up on the wall here on one of these stands that I have for the slabs. Love it. And this is my first CBCS slab, so I'm liking it, man. I'm liking the label too. The slabs are definitely like they're bigger. I guess they're around the same size. They just look sturdier. So that's great. Beautiful condition. Looks 9.8, baby. My first 9.8. So yeah, man, this has been just really great. Thanks, Guru. Yeah, thanks guys for coming in and checking in on me. Okay, so the next book. This next book was. It's not an impulse buy because I've been eyeing this book. I want to say it. I've been eyeing this book for 3 months, 3 or 4 months. And, it's one of those things I wanted to get it, but my wife's like, you don't have any money to get it. Save up money and you can get it. And I've been meaning to save up money, but as soon as I save up money and I go to half price books, I spend it. I spend it on a haul. And that keeps happening. And I'm just like, but it continued to sit there on the Mercari site. No one was getting it. I was like, no way, for that price. I assumed it would have been gone like immediately, but apparently just, people just slept on it or something. I know one guy had it in his, in his basket, but he never pulled the trigger. So I finally saved up enough money. Actually, I was short a few dollars, but I pulled the trigger on it anyway. And my wife's like, okay, you owe me the remainder of it. So I'm still working on that. But yeah, I'm basically like a little kid with comics still. I have to get allowance or save up money to buy these books, which is a good thing. You just don't want to, you don't want to be impulsive to the point where you're just like broke every month. But this book, again, it's a book that I saw online. I did actually buy it, but then I wrote the guy and said, I actually don't have money to buy this right now. And if I want to stay married, I've got to return it. I'm sorry. and I returned it. And the guy was totally, he was totally cool with that. And I told him, look, I know it'll probably sell, but when I do come around to get the money, I will buy it again from you. So it took 4 months, and again, I was surprised no one had wanted to get this book. It to me is like, this instantly is probably easily one of the top 10. Well, I don't want to go that far. I got a lot of great books actually, but this is just definitely one of the best books in my collection, just because I love this artist, and this cover is amazing. It's one of my favorite comic book characters as well. It's from the period I collected. It's also the cover is by an artist I love, and the interior is also by an artist I collect as well. So it's a significant book, and I just love that this guy did a great packing job. So as soon as I get off this video, I'm gonna give him I have to look at the book first, but I'm gonna give him good ratings on the purchase. All the indications are this guy did a good job. Was very communicative, and again, very patient. Like when I came back to him, with the offer, he obliged, and so happy that he didn't block me or anything from the first. Oh man, this book is beautiful. Oh my goodness, and it's high grade. I could get this slabbed. I will get this slabbed. All right, so what we have here is Daredevil 241, Mike Zeck cover. This is not a key book or anything. It's it's a key in the sense that it's a Zeck cover. It's a beautiful Zeck cover. Yeah, you like it? I'm looking at comments now. I don't know if you're commenting on the Wolf or if you're commenting on the Daredevil, but hopefully you're commenting on. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's a signed copy. Mike Zeck's signed copy. Boom. Now, you guys want to get this book, all right? Go out and get this book now at your LCS or wherever you find it, because it's a beautiful Zeck cover. It also is Todd McFarlane interior. Yeah, so it's Todd McFarlane interior. It's a big book. I mean, this is a book that people really should have more awareness about, because especially if you collect Todd McFarlane, right? If you're a big Todd McFarlane fan, Todd McFarlane interiors, Mike Zeck cover, beautiful cover. And again, I got this for $30. Actually got for 26, but plus tax and everything, it ended up being a little over 30, like $33 or something. Plus shipping, right? Shipping is expensive. So the shipping, it's like 26 plus shipping plus tax. It ended up being like $34, $35. But yeah, for a Zeck signed Daredevil, I'll pay that. and again, I'm just shocked that it didn't sell for as long. It just sat there on Mercari for 4 months. I was staring at it like every time I got on Mercari, I checked to see if it's there, checked to see it's there, checked to see it's there. Still there. So finally, when I saved up enough money, I got it. So this was a lesson in patience on my part. You don't have to always go out and get something because you think it's going to sell. Although I did miss my opportunity. There was a Dr. Doom X-Men Dave Cockrum cover with the Doom and Storm. That was signed by Claremont. That was it was selling for 20. It wasn't great grade. The grade was pretty shoddy, but it was a Claremont signature on a Doom cover book, and I was like, for $20, that's a really good deal. And I kind of did the same thing. I just kind of I didn't have the money, so I just was constantly watching it and thought, why don't we $20 will pull it. Never got it. Like I think 2 months later it sold. I went back down and I was like, oh man, someone picked it up. So you do have to, if you see something you like, you have to kind of move on it, because some of the stuff will sell. But this one, I'm so glad that it didn't sell. And we finally, after 4 months of just like fawning over it, because I knew it was high grade. I confirmed with the guy, what do you think the grade is? And he just said, like, it's really high grade. I mean, I do see some, is that the bag or the, I mean, there are a little bit of like issues there. But again, when you look at it in the light, you see it. But when you look at it, I think it's the bag. Yeah, so it's the bag. Yeah, well, there's a spine tick there, like a really minor spine tick there. It's just so well centered. It looks absolutely beautiful. But so maybe this wouldn't come back a 9.8, but it would definitely come back like a 9.6 or 9.4. Can't see it getting lower than a 9.4. It's just too beautiful of a book. And again, it needs a press, so if I were to send it in, I'd get it pressed and slabbed. So I picked up a lot of signature books, and my subscription to CGC, actually, it was a year and it ran out. I didn't renew it. And I'm glad I didn't renew it, because now what I can do is, I think CGC is great. I know I've like kind of given them a hard time in the past because I just wanted my books and it was taking a long time, and there was a little bit of frustration on my part on how long it was taking, and it weighs on you, right? But for the most part, I'm getting, again, 4 books back from CGC next month. The books I've gotten back, yeah, am I satisfied with all the grades? No. But from a logistical standpoint, the fact that you send in books, they're taken care of, they're pressed, there weren't any issues. The books come back slabbed. The slabs, for the most part, are clean. There's like one little scuff on the front of the slab, but it wasn't anything to warrant me resubmitting it or anything. But yeah, like in hindsight, now that the subscription is done, in hindsight, I was just like, you know what? I could see myself going back to CGC and doing it again. But at the same time, I also think CBCS, in terms of what they do and their process, it's very similar. And it's not like CGC, you get, I mean, the labels are nice. I think some of those like custom labels are really nice, but they're not, you don't really need them. It's just added sort of, it's an added nicety that's not a necessity per se. But CBCS, yeah. So if I do submit something to CBCS, it'll be signature books, because they do the signature sort of authentication. And I've got like a book like this, right? You wouldn't want to send it to CGC because it's going to get the green label. So a book like this, so my signature books, all my signature books for the most part, are going to go to CBCS. So, we're going to save up some money, build up the budget again. And I think sometime next year, maybe, I'm hoping next winter, a year from now, we'll make us maybe a 5-book CBCS submission, all signature books. And then we'll do another one in 2024. I know it's like a long way out, but that's kind of how we're, because, I used a lot of sort of credit budget for the CGC books that I have, the books that I have at CGC already. So it's just about kind of regaining all that credit back and being able to start spending again. So we're looking at late 2023 to early 2024 on our next couple of CBCS submissions. Okay. All right, so man, we've gotten some did some great unboxings. I got 2 more books to show you, and then we'll call it a night. So um, the next book is a book that I actually picked up. This was another purchase, and this purchase was what's the best way to describe it? I sold some books, and I had some money that I was targeting for, just like half price books and books, picking up stuff here and there. But this book came across my radar, and again, I didn't have enough. So this was way before I got this book. This is a recent pickup. But this was a while back, and I kind of I was planning to do because it came in a box. I got it off of eBay. And this was a eBay unboxing I did on a live video. But that live video, you can go back. I start showing like Neil Adams books, and you'll see the video just cuts off. And that's because there was a glitch, and the live stream just kind of didn't capture the rest of that unboxing. So I unboxed the whole thing and went back and looked at it, and they'd cut out the entire thing. So just missed the entire thing altogether. But it was a book that I looked at eBay, and I was like, that's a pretty good price. But I did, send him an offer, and I kind of gave him this like spiel, like, look, hey man, this is all. And then I was being completely honest with him. I had $16 at the time, and he had this book up for like, I think 25. And I said, could you, and he had it for free shipping and all that. So I said, hey, could you accommodate, because I only have $16, could you accommodate an offer for like 20, or sorry, 6. I said, could you accommodate an offer for 16? And he said, sure. And so with tax, and again, shipping was free, with tax and all that, I got it for like around $20. So just really appreciative of that guy for giving me that deal, because that's a big markdown. 25 to like 16, that's like almost a $9 markdown. But the guy was very generous of it. And it's a book. I think it was a hotter book earlier in the year for whatever reasons, and then it kind of cooled off, but it's still a classic book. And that is Spectacular Spider-Man 101. Now, again, this is a book I did cover on an earlier haul. It's just that haul video got sliced and diced, and I never got a chance to feature it. So we're featuring it now, and again, it's a pickup that I made last month. Then this one came in this month. So yeah, that's kind of where I am when I can sell books or pick up some money or save some money. We're talking about like when like $20 or $30 come in. This is the stuff I look out for. So just too great. John Byrne, Mike Zeck. Boom. That's right. Byrne, baby. This is like, I just love that book. Just love this negative space. Like, someone tell me if like, what is the first negative space cover? Because I think it's around this period that they were kind of coming about. This has to be one of the first, right? I would imagine. I don't know of too many outside of this one that are earlier. But man, if you're gonna do a negative space cover, you want to do black and white. You want to do the Black Suit Spy. It's just absolute. Now, The grade, mind you, this is high nines here. This one though is probably an 8.5, and it's not something like that we want to get slabbed at this point. But if we do, it's going to be one of those like mediocre grades, like around an 8.0, 8.5 type grade. So hopefully we'll pick up another. Now this one here, this is high grade. I was saying this is 9.8 potential, the 9.8 candidate all day. This one's very, very high grade, but this one here is probably like an 8.5, around an 8.5, maybe an 8.0. There's like a staple, like a staple stress right there. That's a little unsightly, but what can you do? But this is just, we don't need a grade on this one. This is just a beautiful book. If we can pick up a higher grade book, we will. Okay. All right. So, yeah, this has just been an action-packed haul video, and we're building up to the climax. Okay. Now, I just got to kind of tell the story about this, and then we'll introduce it. So this was, I literally had $3 in my wallet, and I didn't go to. So, as you know, I live in the Bellevue area. For those of you unfamiliar with Washington State, Bellevue is sort of like about an hour, not an hour, sorry, about 20 minutes east of Seattle. That's right. That's a good point. Rafas, I love that point. Whether you're referring to the Spectacular Spider-Man, but the black, where you'd want a black Spidey as opposed to newsstand. That is a great point. If you're going to have one copy of it, but I think I do want the newsstand as well. So I'm targeting the new. Yeah, but you're absolutely right. If you had a choice between the newsstand and if you're going to have one copy, newsstand or the black Spidey UPC, I would go on that particular book. You'd want to go black Spidey UPC. On the Daredevil book, though, the Zek cover, I think maybe the newsstand might be better. But yeah, on a black Spider-Man book, you definitely want the black Spider-Man. So I hear you, Ralph. You guys, we're on the same telepathic wavelength. But yeah, back to the story. So I had $3 in my wallet, and I was going to Half Price Books actually to sell some books. I was going there to sell some books so that I could pick up a few more dollars and head to Mill Geek Comics. So we want to go to Mill Geek Comics with somewhere around $10, maybe like $5 to $10 in our pocket rather than just $3. So I go to Half Price Books in Seattle, the one in Linwoods, which is 20 minutes away. And we don't get up there all that. I mean, I go there after work from time to time just to see what they have. But that store is a store that prices everything out. Like, you'll see modern comics priced out half, like around what their cover price is. Like, if it's a $3.99 cover, they're selling it for $3. Sometimes they're selling above cover there because, like, some of the hotter X-Men books, I think the guy just likes X-Men or something, but he priced like a lot of the House of X stuff for like $5, $10. So there's not a lot of value there. They pretty much price everything out. There's a 50-cent bin, but the books in that bin are just pretty shoddy and ratty. And there are books like some Copper Age books. Again, those are priced usually $1, $2. And I think that's where I usually end up finding some of the books that I buy, because it's the Copper Age book. Sure, it's, if we can get them for 30 cents, it's really good. But if you can pick them up for $1, that's still a pretty good deal for a Copper Age book or even a Bronze Age book. So sometimes they have deals on that. But anyway, so I was waiting to get the books priced and for them to make an offer. And as I was waiting, I was digging through the books and seeing what they had. Again, mind you, I only had $3 in my pocket, so I ran into some Jim Lee stuff. I'm like, can't pick that up today. Um, Ran into some other stuff. Again, everything's like $1, $2 priced out. So I just hit the 50-cent bins, and there was another guy in there, an older gentleman. He kind of had his like, he was sitting on the floor, and he just kind of had to, his spot staked out, and he was digging through the 50-cent bins. Just left him alone, and I kind of went into this other section and dug there. And as we were both digging, one of the employees comes and they plop a comic down. And I just kind of take, it's just one book. He plops a comic down into the 50-cent bin, one book. I kind of look over there. Both of us kind of look over there. But the guy he keeps digging. He doesn't really notice it. I actually stopped what I'm doing and I looked, because it was an interesting book. I looked at it and I was like, hey, I think there's some value here. And I picked it up and I looked at it, thinking it might be like a reprint or like some kind of, I don't know, just, because they do reprint these books. I was just thinking maybe, because the condition looked pretty good. I was like, maybe this can't be what I think it is, because it had a 10-cent cover. But I looked at it, I looked at the back, and then I just started being like, oh my God, it is what I think it is. And it's a golden age book. And so I just kind of stand up. The guy notices me. He actually sees what's in my hand. I think he was like giving me this look like, oh, F you, man. I can't believe you got that. But I stood up, took the book, kind of looked on my app, looked it up, and I was like, all right, okay, we're getting this book. It's a big book. So this book is a golden age pre-horror, code science fiction from EC Comics. Weird Science number 10, golden age book. And it is, so I got it for 50 cents. I got it for 50 cents. And the really, I got home. So there was a price tag here, 50-cent price tag. And I did my best. I actually have a video of it. That video gives me anxiety, gives me like post-traumatic stress disorder, because we were trying to remove it. And the pages on this book are very brittle. You'll notice chips. Okay, those chips come because the pages are brittle. It's a chipped, like there are a lot of little chips there. It's a brittle book. And they pop this like, and you know how sticky the half-price book stickers are, right? They're very like, they don't come off easy. You gotta do the hairdryer. So I have this video of me trying to get the sticker off with the hairdryer, but there's just no way I could not prevent that pull. So there's a little bit of pull off the cover, and you'll note it. Just give you. Otherwise, this would have been a really beautifully presenting book. I mean, it still is, but that is from the sticker pull. And there's just no way around it. Either we would have kept the sticker on there and have it look really ugly. It was like a neon green 50-cent sticker. Or we take our, yeah, thanks, Raffaus. I know, I just could not believe it. Or we took our chances with trying to remove it. And I tried to remove it as best I could, but could not avoid a little pull there. But it's still, first of all, it's intact. The cover is still attached, unbelievably. And it's a complete book. It's just a low grade book. I would say I would put it at a 2.0, maybe a 1.5, 2.0 between there. But again, it presents, again, minus that thing there, it presents all the damage is around the edge and the spine. This central part here, no creases whatsoever. It actually really, let me take it out here so you can get a better look. It actually presents really, really beautifully there. You can see
I was just shocked at how well preserved the book was. And again, sitting in a 50-cent bin, Golden Age, Wally Wood, Eisner Hall of Fame artist Wally Wood, cover here, early science fiction, EC science fiction book, Weird Science, number 10. Again, what makes this book significant is the Wally Wood interior and cover art. Beautiful book. Beautiful book. But again, low grade, but it's my first Golden Age book, and what a book. I mean, if you're going to get a Golden Age book, there are a lot of things you can get, but to get a book like this is pretty exciting and incredible. So this is our book of the haul. This is my Unyoung book. And yeah, I talked about Unyoung earlier, but this really, like, just all the like, I could have, if I were 10 minutes late, that guy would have gotten it. The old guy sitting there would have picked it up if I were 10 minutes late. Or if I didn't even, like, I could have just gone straight to Mill Geek with $3 and dug for 50-cent books, which is what we ended up doing. We ended up going, I picked this up for 50 cents. I had $2.50. I went to Mill Geek and picked up literally five comics. I picked up 5 comics from Mill Geek, which I covered in the haul. And this one that day, because I didn't sell the books. I didn't end up selling the books. They gave me an offer, and I'm just like, I should have taken the offer, actually. I should have taken the offer, but I just figured, no, let's try to sell them closer to where I live and try to get more money. I took it to another bookstore, and they offered me less than I made there. So in terms of the offer, I should have sold it at that store. But anyway, long story short, I went there kind of, to sell, and then ran across this. Now it's a part of my collection. And I know there's a story, like, that's the thing about collecting. Like, you don't know where these books are from half the time, but I'm sure there's a story behind this, about whoever owned this, back in the day, and how it came into it just would be interesting to have that clairvoyant, sort of omniscient view of how that progressed, because I think there's a story there, but we can just only kind of imagine and assume. But again, the power of Lin Young, the power of destiny, fate. It's quite interesting, and let me know what your thoughts are of the Golden Age, because I had a really good, interesting conversation with one of the guys at Mill Geek Comics, the guy who works there. I chat with him about comics, and I trust his knowledge, and he's actually great. Like, Russ is the comic sensei, but the staff there at Mill Geek is also very knowledgeable, and they're collectors, and they've been doing this. They have a lot more knowledge than I do about books. So I told him what happened. I was like, dude, I told him the whole story. I even showed him the book. And I asked him, so, what do you think, what would this sell for? Could I get a really good value for it? And he said something that was very interesting to me. And I thought about it, and I just realized, yeah, I mean, he has a point. And basically what he's saying is, like, there are very few people who collect this era, or who even know the value. Like, I claim ignorance. I gotta say, I had to look up this book. I don't know the key books of this era. I do know, like, if it's a 10-cent cover, or like an 8-cent cover, that's something you want. It's very valuable. But at the same time, there's a lot of like artists, there's a lot of writers, there's a lot of book, just book titles, and just it's an age that I know very little of, because I didn't grow up in that generation. And he was saying the people who would pay good money or just want this book are either dead or are niche collectors, right? So they're either dead, meaning kids that were people that were kids in the 50s, right? That would mean they're what now, in their 80s. Okay. So they're either like they don't remember, they're too decrepit to really collect books anymore, or they're dead. And um, sort of there's the next generation of collectors. Like, these are guys in my community now. I'm thinking of like Metarog, right? Um, or Damien. Those guys have a very appreciation for the hobby, the history of the hobby, and this age of books. That, again, a knowledge, and they have a sort of a broad knowledge of comic books, like superhero, like pre-superhero or superhero type. Actually, I shouldn't say pre-superhero, but superhero era comic books. And yeah, easily over 100. Again, at that grade, I'd say it's about $150 book, somewhere around there. I'm not going to sell it. I'm just going to keep it because it's my first golden age, and it's just special. My first silver age is special as well. My first golden age is special. I've got now gold, silver, bronze, copper. I got all the ages. So for me as a collector, I'm satisfied with that. But again, back to the guy's point. The guy's point is like, if I were to try and sell this, let's say I tried to sell this for like $75, which is way, I'd probably get a buyer on eBay um, for $75. But what he was trying to say is like, most people who are collecting, so if you're just like kind of trying to sell stuff to collectors, the majority of collectors are not wanting to buy this book. And I can attest to that. Like, when I just picked up a Zek book, right, on Mercari. Do I go on Mercari and look up Golden Age? No. Have I looked up Golden Age Superman? Yes. Can I afford Golden Age Superman? No. So I'm just not in the market for Golden Age stuff. And to be honest, like, even if I were, like, even if I had the money and I were in the market for Golden Age stuff, it would just be Superman, right? It wouldn't necessarily be some of this other stuff. I'd just be focused on trying to pick up Superman stuff. But I mean, that's me. Um, and that's the point he's trying to make. Is like, the market for this kind of stuff is fading, and the younger and younger collectors don't have any kind of connection or attachment to this, so they don't value it. And I'm kind of in the middle, meaning I'm there in terms of like understanding the significance and value of this, right? Um, but at the same time, yeah, as a personal collector, do I, does this like speak to me? No. I know there are guys collecting like, pre-code horror right now that, and those books are like, have spiked and are very expensive, and these covers are just like gory. Like, I see the value in collecting stuff like that. But is that stuff for me? No, I don't collect it. And so a book like this, again, is, I think, for those niche collectors with a little bit more, like the bigger collections, the ones that spend a little bit more, the ones that understand the value or the significance of a book like this. And that market is very selective and exclusive. And so the guy was just like, given the grade of this book and given everything, it's like, it's not going to be a book that's in high demand. And I would agree. I would agree with him. Yeah. Like, these kinds of books just aren't in demand with the younger generation of the prime generation of collectors in the hobby right now, the ones that are going to Comic Cons and all of this stuff. Like the guys behind the booth, the guys that are selling the books, they are selling these books, collecting the money, and trying to get high grade copies of stuff like this. And that's the difference. You just have the mass, the mass market of collectors are just trying to get Spider-Man books, are just trying to get they're trying to complete their Silver Age run of ASM, 1 through 12. I mean, that's a big lift, but I mean, that's where they're focused. 20 years from now, or maybe 30 years from now, well, Spider-Man will never die. Spider-Man will go on forever. Yeah, but my point is, like, as generations go on, let's say you collected what's something that's kind of obscure right now. Let's say you're collecting like Something is Killing the Children. Okay, Something is Killing the Children, and that's a hot book. I don't have any connection to it, so I don't. Not something I want to buy. But you have it. You turn 80 and you try to sell it to like younger kids. I'm sure the younger kids may have some idea of what it is, but they won't want to buy Something is Killing the Children. The children that are dying in Something is Killing the Children, when they turn 30, they're not going to want to buy Something is Killing the Children. And that's the thing about the hobby. There's this turnover of what's collectible. And what really kind of brought this home to me is in my conversation with Silver Knight Kyle. Silver Knight Kyle has a great collection of like early 20th century comics. We're talking like comic strips from like newspapers, right? And he has a great collection of like early Disney, just a lot of books from like the 20s and 30s, early comic book stuff. And when I look at stuff like that, I'm just like, wow, that should be in a museum. That's like, I don't even think of it as like a collectible. It's something I could tangibly own and want as a part of my collection. I just see it as like something like, that's historic. That's like these are things we should like preserve in a book and like study to just gain knowledge of our culture, right? Just gain knowledge of where our books come from, because it's a progression of culture that leads to like Superman, that leads to like Deadpool, that leads to Something is Killing the Children, and it's like it's just this ongoing cycle of who we are as human beings. And so, yeah, for me, that brought a lot of like it really reinforced who I am as a collector to pick up this book, because as much as this is an Unmyeong book, right? It's an Unmyeong book. It was brought to me for a reason. I have no intention of selling this. It's going to stay in the collection. But it's my first Golden Age book. And I just feel like I've whoa, where are you going? Scared me. I just feel like I've gained a new appreciation for this hobby owning this book. I just have like, I feel like I'm connected to a larger, like, you know what I mean? Like, everybody's a collector, everybody has the books they like and whatnot, but um, for me, like, the golden age, I always looked at it as like something unattainable. And it wasn't that it was unattainable, it was that I didn't quite put, I didn't equate the value that people were paying for it to something I would, that I would pay. I just didn't value this stuff, right? Like, I look at a like a $5,000 Golden Age Superman book. I want it. I really want it. And I could spend $5,000 on it. But at the end of the day, it's too big of an investment to for me to actually, if I had spent $5,000 on a book and had it in my collection, I'm sure I'd love it. I'm sure I'd love it. But also, it would be a decision I think that I would like at some point wouldn't sit well with me. You know what I mean? Like, I spent too much on this book. Sure, it might, if it goes up to like $10,000, $30,000 or whatever, I might not think that, but I'm just saying, like, $5,000 on a book is, I mean, not to everybody. And that's what I'm saying. That's what's great about this hobby, right? Not to everybody. There are people who collect this and will drop, thousands of dollars on a high grade copy for this. They see the value in it. And I see the value in it too. My point is, like, where I am as a collector is very low budgeted stuff, very and closer to where I grew up in my era of collecting. And I'm fine to be in that space. And to pick up a book like this, I just feel like, I've grown as a collector. I have something in my collection that's uh, connects me to the the earlier generations. It connects me to Wally Wood, his work. And it connects me to the generation of artists in Wally Wood's time. And that's the thing, like, just the simple, uh, hey, what's up, Kyle? I was just talking about you. Just the simple fact of owning something from that age really is a connection to that era. Um, and that's how I feel. I just feel like, I was mentioning earlier, like, it would be nice to know what there's a backstory to who somebody owned this. Somebody owned this book, and from 1951, somebody owned this book. Some kid owned this book, or maybe some young adult owned this book, and he had it in his collection, or he sold, or it ended up in somebody's collection, and then they passed away or whatever. I'm just making an assumption, but it went through a series of, journeys, and it landed in half price books. Someone plopped a half price book sticker on there like an idiot. I tried to remove it, couldn't, did kind of pull there a little bit, but picked it up for 50 cents. 50 cents for a Golden Age book. And again, I was having that conversation with my LCS, uh, the guy who works at my LCS, and he was just saying, like, look, you're gonna try to sell. If you try to sell this, it's gonna be hard to move it, just because people. This is not what people collect. People these days don't collect this, and The people that do collect it have passed away, or they're niche collectors, and they're not going to give you a good value for this. They're going to try to get this book for as low as, because they know, like, look, I'm the only guy that's going to pay you for this book. If you try to sell this to, like, your next door collector, they're not going to they're not going to give you much for it. They're not going to want it. They're not going to want it. And if they don't want something, they're not going to give you anything for it. So it was a great point. And I just realized, look, I don't want to sell this. This is a book I don't want to sell. This is a book that represents my connection to the bigger world of the hobby, right? Like, owning a modern book is my connection to the hobby, but it's only my connection to the hobby from the 80s, only my connection to the hobby from the 90s. Bronze Age, we're going back a little bit. It's my connection from the 70s. But when I own a book like this, that covers the entire landscape of the golden age, I just feel more connected to the hobby. And I'm sure there are people out there that feel the same way. And I'm sure there are people who collect, the reasons for collecting this is their appreciation for the history, really probably the greatest age of comics, right? The superhero, when the superheroes were introduced. So yeah, just beautiful art too, man. Wally Wood art. I had no clue who Wally Wood was until this book came into my sphere, and then I read about him, and man, did he have an incredible portfolio of work. Yeah, in terms of, if you look at this detail here, there are very few artists right now that could draw in this style. It's beautiful. So yeah, that's it. Yeah, well, Kyle, I already took it off and it pulled, and you can see the damage right there. I mean, it's sort of low grade book anyway, so I don't think it. You did? Okay. It's a beautiful book. It's a beautiful book. I mean, this was even before our space program. The fact that the guy was imagining what traveling to interstellar travel would be like. It's pretty profound. Yeah. I agree. This is a treasure. This is an absolute treasure. And our first Golden Age book, so just pop the cherry on Golden Age. And I just feel more connected to the hobby now. This is one of those like books that you just it just takes your appreciation of this hobby to another level. To another book like this, it really kind of validates my collection. I feel like I have all these like modern books and like Copper Age books, and like I love the 90s books, right? But to have a book like that in my collection is just like, look at this. It's kind of like diversifies my portfolio a little bit. If we're talking investment lingo, this definitely diversifies my investment. So yeah, thanks for joining me, guys. This has just been an amazing haul video. I'm just going to go over some of the stuff we picked up. Thanks again, Fanboy Prime, for these books. Man, you shouldn't have, man. This is just, as great as that Golden Age book is, the fact this is, it just feels more valuable to me because it came from you, man. And I know how much how much Superman means to you, and how much this era of Jurgens, because this is what you collect. I know that, and so for you to, man, just love it, dude. I love it, and I love this book, man. This is my favorite Jim Lee cover right here of Superman. Well, one of my favorites. Still think this one here is the classic one by him, but that's a close second right there. Thank you. Again, pick this one up. This is big. One that's been on our radar. One we've been wanting to pick up. Pick that up for $16, and then this one for $30. Comes with the Zek COA. Man, this is another big one. Mike Zek. Oh, I would love that, Kyle. Golden Age is something I always thought would be unattainable for me. I just kind of look at people collecting Golden Age, and just seeing the prices and everything. I'm just like, oh man, it'd be nice to have that Golden Age Superman book. Or I do look at really, really low grade copies of Golden Age stuff, like Superman books on eBay and stuff, but they're still they're still in the thousands. And it's just always kind of been something just kind of like a goal a little bit out of reach, because I don't spend much on books. This is as much as I'm going to spend on a book, maybe $100 on a book, but oh man. Yeah, thank you, Kyle. It's very generous of you, man. You have, can I just say, your collection is just incredible. I was talking earlier about how you have the, the stuff that should be in a museum. They're not even collectibles at this point. They're literally artifacts of culture, right? So, man, I know you've been kind of putting up stuff, original art stuff, and I'd love to see you just do a pure, because I'm very interested to just know the history of 20s comics, just like Little Nippy, that. Just that Little Nippy was just, man, there was a comic like that. It was completely I didn't realize stuff like that had existed, and it would be lost, right? If no one introduces this stuff to the next generation. It's not like we go to a library and I mean the really fervent, passionate ones of us would study it, but I barely keep tabs on modern books. I just don't have the bandwidth to go and research all this stuff up. So if you could do it, man, Silver Knight Library, yep. I love watching your channel for that, for those history lessons. So looking forward to that. All right, yeah, it's been a great haul. Thanks for joining. Again, picked up a lot of books. Some of these are available for trade, so hit me up if you want any of these. These are all available. Again, I'm trading for Jim Lee books, so if you have Jim Lee books and you want some of this stuff, hit me up and let's make a deal. The Mike Zeck signature book. These books are not available for trade, sale or trade. Okay.
these ones here are not available for sale and trade. These are staying in the PC. And so don't even bother. But these other ones, the more modern books are. So hit me up. Great. That'd be awesome. All right. Good night. Good night, Kyle. Have a great evening. Have a great weekend. Hope you enjoy the weekend. Hope something really positive happens over the weekend for you guys, all of you. Yeah, keep collecting, keep doing what you do. This is the language we speak, man. Comic books. All right. See you guys. Thanks.